words in the English language that go together that really don't mean what they used to mean are the words, I wonder. I wonder. You see, the wondering actually doesn't happen when you say, I wonder. Because normally what we do when we say, I wonder now, is what do? We pull out the wonder killer, which is Google, or it could be your laptop, whatever it is. See, wondering happens when we actually don't know what it is we're wondering about. But since Google has come, right, we don't wonder anymore. If you're with a group of friends and they're like, someone says at lunch, like, oh, I wonder what happened in blankety blank. We pull out the wonder killer and we find out the answer. This didn't used to be the case. We would have to wonder about everything. Our favorite artists that we listen to, we'd have to wonder what they were doing. Now we know every detail of their entire life, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Wondering is extinct. Wondering is gone. But what if we asked ourselves the hard question, should we wonder more? Should we be curious more? I believe that curiosity, which is really wondering about something, wondering about people, actually can bring about more change in our lives than we even thought. I have a little bit of framework that I love to teach about when it comes to curiosity or wondering about a person. I say that curiosity leads to empathy, right? Feeling with that person. Empathy leads to trust between two people. Trust leads to relationship, and that relationship can lead to change. But so many of us want change in our life, but what if change actually comes from wondering? Now, wondering when I was growing up in the early 90s was something that I just had to do all the time. There was a band that I loved. I knew all of their dance moves. Do you know what band I'm talking about when I do that? Yes, one of my favorite bands in the late 80s was Milli Vanilli. Yes, I loved Blame It on the Rain, Girl You Know It's True. I loved them so much that my mom actually took me to the 1989 Milli Vanilli tour. And it was absolutely incredible. But I had to wonder about who they were until I got a tiny bit of information, maybe off of MTV. One of the things that was shocking to everyone that was existing in high school in the late 1980s was that we found out that Milli Vanilli actually didn't sing a single word to their songs on tour or on their records. They were actually lip syncing. But can I tell you something? I didn't find that out for months after their tour. Why? Because I didn't have access to instant information. I was kept wondering all the time. And we just don't have access to wondering anymore. Wondering is almost extinct, right? If we're wondering about a restaurant or we're wondering about a vacation, we can literally look up any YouTube video and our wonder is gone. So what if? What if you actually, with purpose and intention, invited wondering back into your life? What that's actually going to look like is inviting not knowing something back into your life. And that makes us so uncomfortable. So when you're sitting with a group of friends and somebody says, I wonder, and someone pulls their phone out, I want you to be the person that says, stop, nope, we're not going to find out the answer. We're just going to wonder. And I promise you, when you sit in wonder, the conversation will actually, I think, lead to something way better than finding out the information at hand. So let's wonder.